Hey, it's Brad. It is October the 30th, and it has been a warm and windy past couple of days. We have an awesome cold front that's coming in that's supposed to be hitting tomorrow, October 31st, Halloween. The leading edges include some storms that are coming in. You may hear some thunder in the background. If you have not already planned on going out, if you're bow hunting, get out tomorrow. It is going to be awesome. For me, though, I won't be in the stand tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm not going to be in a stand for the rest of the year. My bow season is done. I cannot tell you how badly I wish I was making plans to get up early tomorrow morning and get out to one of my stands to hunt this cold front. But I literally can't do it. You may notice a couple different things about me. I'm wearing glasses. I normally wear contacts. And I have something else around me as well. And I'll back up a little bit so you can see what it is. This is a sling. So in just a minute, I'm going to tell you about how I got this and how it's going to impact the rest of my bow season. But before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what you're going to see in just a little bit. I really want you to stick around because I have a total of 3 hunts where there is some awesome deer behavior and really is connected to why I am giving you this message at my pole building instead of in a stand. So in just a second, we'll kind of go back in time to this past Saturday. And I've been really disciplined about not heading out to the hunting property until I started seeing some mature bucks moving. And this past weekend was awesome. So the opening shot that you saw was the end of my evening on Saturday this past weekend. And probably one of the biggest bucks that I've seen live since we've owned this property here in Iowa. So let's talk about how I got to this point. And I haven't been able to put out as many episodes of the habitat work that I've done over the last 5 or 6 months because we've accelerated the hunting season, so I've been bringing you more of those. But I literally have 8 to 10 episodes that I'm working on editing to bring you basically everything that's led up to this moment. And I'm really excited to do that, and I'm going to have plenty of time to do that, as you'll see. But one of the things you're going to see in the episodes that are coming at you in the next weeks and months is my emphasis on safety. I've been hunting now for well over 2 decades. And as a young man, I pushed the limits. I didn't really have anybody that showed me much about hunting, and I kind of learned on the fly, made a lot of mistakes. And one of the mistakes that I made was not being as safe as I could in a tree stand. And so one of the things that you absolutely need to do, and you're going to hear me say this time and time again, is if you're going to leave the ground and get to an elevated position, you need to have a safety harness. You need to have a safety line that's going to be attached to you from the time you leave the ground till when you get in that stand. And you either stay attached to that stand or you switch over to another style that's going to secure you to that tree. So if you fall, there is a restraint there to keep you from falling to the ground and seriously injuring yourself or even dying. This is no joke. As a younger man, I used a different system that I do today where some screw-in tree stand or tree pegs. And if you don't check them every year, as the tree grows, it starts loosening up where you screwed in. And I was only about 6 feet off the ground, and as I stepped onto one of those tree steps, it gave way and I fell straight down. And as a younger man, I had more flexibility, and I was bruised, but I scared me enough that it made me realize I got to be more careful. And ever since then, I've done everything I can to make sure that I'm safe in the tree stand. What happened to me did not happen in a tree stand. Matter of fact, it wouldn't have happened in a tree stand. But let me tell you exactly what happened. So this happened on Sunday night. I told you earlier, you saw the beginning of the video. We'll show you more in a bit about that really big buck that I ended my Saturday night with. And I decided that I was going to come out Sunday morning because the deer were really moving. We'll talk about that more in the interviews that I do out at the stand in just a little bit, so I don't want to spoil all of it. But I saw enough that I wanted to come out Sunday morning as early as I could, and so I fully intended to do that. I did that, saw some more action. You'll see that. And again, I'm like, I'm coming out Sunday evening, so I left all my stuff in the stand, went home, grabbed some lunch, got some chores done, watched a little football, and then headed out. So Sunday night, again, you'll see some of that interview. I don't want to spoil any of that, but suffice it to say, when the evening ended, when shooting light ended, none of the big bucks came out at all, but there were a lot of deer in the area. So I was planning on hunting again Monday morning. So I literally left everything I had pretty much up in the stand so that I could sneak in and out as easily and quietly as I could. So as I'm sneaking out, I decided that I had enough visibility that I didn't want to turn on my flashlight in my hat that I usually use, a green light. And which is normally not a big deal. I know my path, I had to go down a hill into the creek bed. And what you're seeing now is one of the things that I've done. I'll go into depth in one of our episodes as far as how I did this, but the benefit of the creek is it is an awesome way to approach all the stands I have on the property, but the downside is the steep angles that I have to go up and down to get up to the areas that I need to hunt. So I use a variety of methods to do that, and at this particular area, I'd actually carved into the ground some earthen steps that I regularly keep up, and they've done a really good job, and that's not where I had the issue. So as I'm going down these steps that you're seeing right now, I'm getting down closer to the creek bed to enter the creek and make my way out to my truck. Feeling pretty safe, but I had no light on. And we had no rain for probably 45 or 50 days in August and September and even into October. We got about 0.2 of an inch of rain earlier in the week last week, and it must have been enough to loosen up the ground a little bit. And where I have to cross into the creek, there's some pockets where there's water that have collected, how the water churned. It's amazing how water works, but there were pools of water. And I had purposely put a couple bags of concrete that have hardened that I couldn't use elsewhere. Great way for me to cross. But the problem is that there was an embankment where I hadn't effectively carved into that bank or had a different way for me to get up. And had I had my light on, I would have seen what I missed. So what happened was, as soon as I stepped down and before I stepped into the creek, the muddy area that I wasn't aware of or that I didn't calculate, part of the bank gave way. And to my left was a tree, and I knew I was falling, so I went to grab that tree, and I knew I injured my left hand. But as soon as I knew that wasn't going to work, it wasn't a big tree, I was literally falling face first into a pool of about 1 foot of water. Not super dangerous, but I really didn't want to get wet. So as I was falling, I put my left hand forward and I braced myself, but I hit something at the bottom of the creek bed and I heard a snap. I'm soaking head to toe, and I got up and I could not move my arm. Fortunately, I didn't have any other injuries. My hand was sacrificed. I didn't have any head injuries. It could have been bad. I had no cell service. I'm in a valley. So I knew I wasn't going to be hunting for a while, so I got to a point where I could just walk on normal land instead of the creek, and made my way to the truck. Finally had cell service, peeled off my clothing that was soaking wet with one hand. It must have been adrenaline. Called my wife, and I said, meet me at the hospital. And I was able to meet her at the hospital, and after 4.5 hours in the ER, I had my x-rays done, and I had a pretty severe fracture on my distal radius, my forearm. And now, as of this date, they got me some pain medication, and I am going to be heading into surgery in a couple days here. So I'm super bummed because my season is done as far as bow hunting goes, and we don't know how it's going to go. But a couple things I want to say real quick. First of all, I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful for my wife, who's been awesome and has adjusted her schedule and made it possible for us to navigate this. And we have some great friends in the area that have been helping us out. Got my truck back to the house and have been super helpful after that, and all the people that have been praying and thinking about me. And thanks. Anyway, if you haven't seen my intro video, I didn't know any of this was going to happen, but I told you that this isn't just going to be about the highlights and the great events. We're going to show you the full spectrum, and this is real. This happened right before the rut. I would never have planned this. But can I tell you how thankful I am that I didn't knock myself out in that pool of water with no communication. Appreciate the prayers and the mercy that I was extended, and how quickly in a moment life can change. So thankful. Thank you for the people at the ER and the kind people that made sure that I had the care needed, and just was so thankful for all the people involved. But I didn't know how I was going to react to this. I really don't even know how much of this I'm going to show, but this is the reality. This is where I am. And I don't want you to feel sorry for me because my bow season's done. We have some options. We'll see what happens. I don't even know yet because I'm waiting for the surgery, so we'll see. But I have some options in Iowa that we'll look at, but that's not the point of today. The point of today is being thankful, the reality that life can change in a moment, and honestly, at the end of the day, no matter how much you love to do your hobbies or the things you enjoy, I love white-tailed deer, I love to bow hunt, I love being outdoors, I love habitat work. At the end of the day, it's about relationships. No matter what, don't ever let this hobby or any other hobby take priority over the relationships you have in your life. So that's my lesson that I'm, again, being reminded of, and just wanted to pass along to you as I'm going through this challenge. But it's temporary. The surgeon said that even though the break was severe, once it heals, I should have no problem stabilizing my bow, and I'll be up on the tree stand before you know it. Not this season, but down the road. So just super thankful, and you know, all the things I'm thankful for. So, all right. So that's the story. I'll keep you updated. Some of what you're going to see for watching Brad work, I'm going to take you through my physical therapy, and you'll kind of see the process I'm going to be going through and doing everything I can to get full mobility. And we'll kind of watch that as part of one of the episodes. But I'm going to be, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be able to spend some significant time editing and getting to you many of the projects that I did this year and in the past couple years that have led up to this. And I just got to tell you, it is such a reward to see the effort paying off. It's strategic. My plans have not been perfect. I've had some challenges along the way, which you will see, but it's awesome to see plans coming together. And as I continue to see these deer that are still going to be there the next time I go out, and there's going to be other opportunities, but it's awesome. So without any further ado, we're going to jump into these hunts, and I'll let myself narrate a little bit and show you some of the stuff that happened the last couple days prior to, well, actually, my last hunt of the 24-25 season up in a tree stand. So hope you enjoy it. Enjoy some of this deer behavior. Super cool. And I hope you keep coming back and joining me. And please, if you are a hunter or you know someone that's a hunter, please tell them to be safe. Make sure you tell people when you're going out, when you should be coming back. Make sure that people are aware of all your coming and going, because we do not need any of you being in an unfortunate situation. So please learn from me. Didn't think this would happen. I am never going to not use my light again, no matter if I spook deer or not. It is not worth this. This is awful. But it happened for a reason. We'll find out what it's for. If it's to maybe save you or a loved one, that you can communicate and say, hey, check this video out, watch what happened to Brad. Don't let this happen to you. It'll all be worth it, because no one, as great as this hobby or this lifestyle is, it's not worth having permanent physical damage, mental damage from the emotional scarring or even passing away. It's just not worth it. All right, enough of me talking. I've talked too much. Enjoy these times from the tree stand. You're going to realize that I had no clue that I'm going to be giving you this speech when I'm talking. So I'm full of hope and I'm excited about it, and hope you enjoy. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hey, it's Brad, and we are in another new stand to you. This stand is located on the western edge of our main food plot and kind of parallel with what we call our thin strip. So we don't really hunt the thin strip. It's actually right off the creek. It's a great little staging plot for the main plot. We're here tonight because this is really the only stand that I can sit in for this particular wind. It's a southeast wind. It isn't foolproof, but it's most likely that the deer won't be downwind of us. And like it's been, the wind is dying near sunset and also at sunrise. So if there's no sun that's driving everything, the wind is just dying. So I don't know what we're going to expect here. We typically have been seeing a lot of deer here in the main plot, so we'll see. The other night I was literally around the corner. We had those bucks that were in the plot, that little 6-pointer and then that 9-pointer that came in. So we'll see. That's all I have to talk about right now, so I'll let you know what we see. Hey, it's Brad. It's the morning of Sunday, October the 27th. I am here at the hunting property, and let me tell you, we had an awesome night last night. Had a ton of action starting around 5:30. Saw 5 bucks, 6 or 7 does. Younger bucks were chasing. But why I'm here this morning is what I would call the biggest buck I've seen live out here. So we're going to go after him this morning. We're getting out a little earlier than normal. It's a beautifully cold morning, about 35, 36 degrees, and we're going to get at it. So hopefully I can show you some action this morning. Join me soon.